When Artūras Karnišovas was named the Bulls executive vice president in April of 2020, he vowed to take the Bulls from bottom feeders to contenders in the Eastern Conference. In the 3 seasons prior to his hiring, the team hadn't won more than 30 games in a season. However, the team did have an emerging star in Zach LaVine, who was fresh off a 25.5 point per game season. AK's goal was to build a competent team around their new star, which he would begin to do. In his first season in charge, he made a big splash at the trade deadline, dealing for star big man Nikola Vucevic from the Orlando Magic. He was named to his second All-Star game that season and had been the best player on a team that made the playoffs. It was a big first step for the Bulls and a positive one, but they were far from done. The 2021 offseason is where AK went all in on contending in the East. They brought in 3 key players, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and Alex Caruso. The team now had a big 3 with LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic, who had all just played at All-Star levels. Then Lonzo was a very important number 4. And in the first year of the new Bulls, they looked great, holding the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference as late as February 5th. However, Lonzo got hurt in January with a season-ending meniscus tear, and the team was never the same. They fell all the way to the 6th seed by the time the playoffs rolled around and lost to the Bucks in round 1. Without their floor general and best defender, as well as a good shooter in Lonzo, the team couldn't contend. He wasn't an all-star in year 1 with Chicago, but he was an extremely high-end starter, and the loss of his presence was felt. The Bulls were without their point guard for all of last season as well, and they ended up losing in the play-in and missing the playoffs entirely. Despite a disappointing 2023 campaign, as well as the news that Lonzo likely wouldn't play this season either due to continuing complications with his knee, they brought back Vooch in free agency, and are going to run it back with their big 3 one more time. However, with DeRozan entering the last year of his contract, this core will not see another chance after this season if they struggle again. Yet despite everything I just told you, the Chicago Bulls could be the East's biggest wild card. Now let's take a deeper look at why. Before we get into the Bulls' sneaky dark horse hopes for next season, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 91% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. After March 1st, 2023, the Chicago Bulls had the 9th best record in the entire NBA, and the 5th best in the Eastern Conference. Some gave credit to Patrick Beverley, who was a buyout signee for the team around the time they started to turn it around. However, the real driver was Zach LaVine returning to his status as one of the best offensive players in the NBA. He started off the 2023 campaign slowly due to an offseason surgery on his left knee, which clearly limited his confidence and explosiveness. But after March 1st, he averaged 27 points and 5 assists per game on 52, 39, 87 shooting splits. He often felt unstoppable and was the driving force in Chicago's 12-8 finish and appearance in the play-in tournament. Then the Bulls beat the Raptors in the opening play-in game and held a 4th quarter lead over the Miami Heat in their second one, before ultimately losing the game and missing the playoffs. However, their 12-8 finish and being up on the eventual finals representative from the East was very promising and showed that with LaVine at full strength, the team can still be a problem in the Eastern Conference, even without Lonzo Ball. But the determining factor for if the Bulls can look more like their 2022 selves is the players. So let's take a look at the impact guys. When talking about the Bulls, I'd say you have to start off with Zach LaVine. The 28-year-old star guard is the franchise guy in the Windy City. He's been an all-star in each of his last 2 healthy seasons in 2021 and 2022. At his peak, he's going to give you 27 points and 5 assists a night, while shooting nearly 40% from 3. At the end of the day, the team is going to go as far as LaVine can take them. If Zach is at his peak form again next season, then the Bulls could comfortably be a playoff team. Injuries will likely continue to bother him to some extent, but if he can play 65 plus games, it would be extremely valuable for the team if he's at his best. Next, you have to shift to his co-star and partner in crime, DeMar DeRozan. A career shooting guard who has shifted to the 3 spot alongside LaVine in Chicago, DeRozan is arguably the greatest mid-range scorer of all time. He made his 6th All-Star game last season and finished the year with averages of 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. His 2-point percentage of 53% was the second highest mark of his career. He's one of the best second options in the league, and the Bulls are blessed with a true 1A, 1B scenario with him and LaVine. At 34 years old, there are some legitimate concerns about a dip in play, but he looked as good as ever last season. He was one of the bright spots during the team's early season struggles. Then you have the final member of the designed Big Three in big man Nikola Vucevic. I'd say a lot of Bulls fans aren't too fond of the two-time All-Star, considering that he hasn't been an All-Star with Chicago, and that they gave up both Franz Wagner and Wendell Carter Jr. in the package to get him. However, I think the focus on what they gave up has actually led to Vooch becoming a bit underrated in the process. He's not a top 5 center or anything, but 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists per game is no scrub. He's still a very solid contributor to the team. He's also been impressive with Montenegro in the 2023 FIBA World Cup, which is a good sign. Then we move away from the Big Three and talk about the other key guys. Alex Caruso was originally brought in to be a backup guard, and probably the 6th or 7th man. But due to Lonzo's injury and improvement on his own game, he has become likely their 4th best player. He was named first team all-defense last season and had a legitimate argument as the best defensive guard in the entire league. He wasn't a huge impact on the other end of the floor, taking only 4 shots a game, but he hit some when they needed them and can still be counted on to hit the open 3 ball. Then you have another defense-first player in 22-year-old power forward Patrick Williams. He was given the nickname The Paw in reference to pre-draft belief that he could develop into a Kawhi Leonard-esque player. I'd say any hopes of him hitting a ceiling that high are probably out the window at this point, but you never know. At just 22 years old and entering his 4th season, there's plenty of time to take a jump. However, even at his current level, he's still a solid starting 4. He averaged 10 points and 4 rebounds per game last season, while shooting 42% from 3. Some draft insiders question his shot coming in, so the level of 3-point efficiency he's had so far has been a pleasant surprise. Then you have to look at the potential candidates to mop up some of the point guard duties still left behind by Lonzo's absence. Coby White is a fan favorite, but he's more of a score-first player than a true point guard. He is a solid scorer, averaging over 12 points per game through 4 seasons, but has averaged just 3 assists per game in comparison. Then you have Jevon Carter, the former Milwaukee Buck who they signed in free agency. He's a defense-first guard who in the past has needed a push to be more aggressive offensively. You could say he's nearly the opposite of Coby White. He did shoot 42% from 3 last season and put up a career-high 8 points per game, so maybe he could shine with a larger role in Chicago. Finally, you have Ayo Dosunmu. After being drafted in the 2nd round in 2021, he had a very impressive rookie season, even being named to the all-rookie teams. Yet he didn't take the second-year jump like many expected last season, and saw dips in both field goal and 3-point percentage. He'll be looking to bounce back next season. In terms of the lineup, I'd say the starters will likely be Caruso, LaVine, DeRozan, Williams, and Vucevic. Then the second unit will consist of Carter, White, Dalen Terry, Torrey Craig, and Andre Drummond. Guys like Dosunmu, Carlik Jones, and Terry Taylor could also get minutes. So what should you expect from the Bulls in 2024? On the low end, they probably hover around the play-in tournament race for most of the season, but end up dealing 1 or 2 of their big 3 at the deadline and miss the play-in altogether. However, on the high end, this team could finish as a top 6 seed and avoid the play-in tournament altogether. We saw at the end of last season what this team can be at full strength, and it was a top 6 team in the East. Expect at least 1 All-Star, and if they're towards the higher end, both LaVine and DeRozan could make it. Improvements from guys like Williams, White, and Dosunmu could really help elevate this team. But at the end of the day, the version of LaVine that we see this season will determine how good the team is, and if this core will get another chance after this year. The Chicago Bulls could be the East's biggest wild card. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.